Welcome back to MI Mill Surf, guys. Today we're going over Enfields, and the turkeys are even closer than they were on our first shot of this. My cameraman took a picture of me and didn't take a video, but we won't worry about that. You can take a look at the turkeys again if you want. They're down there hanging out. We won't be shooting any turkeys today. It's not in season, and these guys are kind of heritage breeds anyway. They won't taste very good, and they're probably too small. We're starting out with the Enfields today, a nice long form video. This guy's a number 1. This is the one I featured at one point. It's my restoration project. This guy served just after World War I, going into the interwar period. This is number 4 Enfield. It is a 100% real, served in World War II rifle. It's my pride of my Enfields. This was actually manufactured in the United States, and we'll go over that. This is number 5 Jungle Enfield, Jungle Carbine, I mean. It's a little different. As you can see, it's shorter than the rest of them, and a lot lightened up. The scallop cuts are a lot deeper. We'll go over that as well. And then this at the very end here, as I lean over the table of beautiful firearms, is an Ishapore 2A. Hopefully those turkeys aren't blotting out my talking here, but this is a Ishapore 2A. All these rifles are chambered in the same 303 British that served for over 100 years. It served probably better than any other cartridge in wartime, other than the 7mm Mauser and the 8mm Mauser. It's all up to the debate and your own opinions, but we'll start here with this restoration project. Recently, I was able to get a hold of this nose cone so I could finally put the sword bayonet on there. These are both, I believe, the same year. Let me take the cover off of that. Nope, I was wrong. This is actually a 1906 bayonet. It's probably served on a Lee Metford. That's the only gun I don't have that has a Lee action on it. It's a Lee Metford. The nose cone does not feature the same serial number as the gun because, well, I couldn't get the original. Clearly, it's too hard to find that. They do have all of them have a 10-round box magazine, which was huge for the time, when everything was, 6 and 8 and a lot smaller of a. I am being surrounded now. A lot smaller of amount of cartridges you can get in your magazines. They are more removable than most other cartridge, other magazines out there. The number 1 Enfield, we'll go over that. We'll focus back in on that. Had stock discs that used to show, where you came from and who you were, what rifle, what company this belonged to, and everything. But that was able to be, once they captured rifles in World War I, they said, well, now they know who's where and what's going on. This is the only gun we're not shooting today because it is a restoration project. I haven't really gone too deep into the bore of it. I haven't finished the wood on it yet. I do have the pieces for it. I'll probably finish it up today at some point, but that'll be on a separate video. And you were just tripping over everything, you dang turkeys. Those are my wife's turkeys. They're heritage breeds up here at the farm. We'll go over what's in this box in a separate video, but I just brought it out here so I don't forget. The number 1 Enfield served pre-World War I through into World War II. Served with Australian and Indian forces primarily during World War II, because they had the capacity to build them and continue working them. The Australians had their own factories, and so did the Indians in Ishapore. The number 4 Enfield was the improvement that they made interwar period. We'll go over that now. The number 4 Enfield, they changed the bayonet from this bullpup kind of looking, bulldog face here that kind of sat on its own bayonet lug, on a lug, 2 different lugs. We'll actually zoom in on that, Dominic, real quick. Dominic's my see, it sits on that and then sits on that, so it's not on the muzzle. The belief with the English at the time was that we don't want it sitting on the actual rifling and sitting on the crown of the gun, because we don't want it drooping the gun down. We don't want pulling on it, and when the guys shove it on there, we don't want it messing up the whole gun and everything system, but it's all connected anyway. And, well, that was just their belief. It's not really true. Excuse me. Moving on to this guy, the number 4 Enfield. They decided, you know what, let's just put it on the gun itself. And they stuck it on there kind of with this twist, almost like it's an old-timey rifle. Twists right on just like that. This one's a little tight, and it's a spike bayonet. The new belief was, well, we want to keep moving, so we want to be able to jab, pull, you know, keep moving and moving instead of having the sword bayonet, which was more for grappling and fighting with your opponent. This one, they believe, you know, we just want to keep moving. You know, the urban warfare was starting to take over. So we'll put, whoop, that's the wrong way around. Put that back in there. This is a matching bayonet for this gun. It features the S block, and we'll go over what that means real quick as well. This was actually made in the United States. We'll bring it around nice and close so we can zoom in on that. Bring it over here, Dominic. See, it says U.S. property on it. That was for the Lend-Lease, so that we couldn't get in trouble for selling them guns or for giving them weapons and everything. I have the proper S block on the magazine, the removable magazine. I have an S block on my sight here, the simplified sight they made. You see there's kind of an indent here. That's not for anything other than a dial sight that sits on the number 5 Enfield, which we'll go over. I have the correct S block on everything for this gun as it goes in and everything. I have the correct head spacing for this because they had a floating head space on these guns. It was kind of funny, but that's what they had. I have all the correct wood that would have been made in Savage. As you can see, that's connected to this guy here. You can't see the S block on this one. These are all S block sights and everything. You can't see them, very small. I'm not going to try and fight with it, but I did sight this guy in. I made this very accurate gun. See right there, the S. And then the way we know that this was definitely a Savage receiver is it has the 60C serial number. I probably shouldn't have shown the serial number on the camera, but it doesn't really matter that much. I don't think I'm that big of a company, big of a page yet. So we'll go over to the number 5 Enfield. I'm going to come a little closer. This is actually an improvement upon the number 4 Enfield. All they did really was shorten it up, take off a lot of the wood. As you can see, the differences here. They scalloped out the sides here. I'd show you the comparison, but what they did with this was they thought, man, we're getting our butts kicked in the jungle, and that's why this is called a jungle carbine, number 5 Enfield. I believe we can see a little bit of the markings. It says number 5 Mark 1. This is a true number 5, true jungle carbine. Very smooth action. I loved shooting this when I first shot it. I thought, man, Enfields are actually pretty nice guns. They did put all the mechanics in that they decided they wanted to take out of the number 4 Enfield. You can show that real quick, Dominic, thank you. So you can see kind of a comparison of the two. The big differences are the scallop cuts, and they put all their fancy stuff in there. As you can see, the sight is the actual mechanical sight they wanted to put in. And then they actually took and put in the bolt release on here so that you have to use that instead of a cut in the receiver, which is right here, that allows you to pop it up. I can't really get it lined up, but I'll get it out. Hold on, there we go. Pop it out, and that lets you take the bolt out on the number 4 Enfield. That cut is not on the number 5. You can show them. As you can see, you can't get that to go. You have to bring it back here to the release, and then that allows you to push it up and slide her out, but she's not cooperating. There, it's the bolt. Same bolt. They're interchangeable parts for the most part. Dang you, come on. There we go. I did cut myself on one of the guns when the thing came back, so I'm bleeding a little bit, but it's no big deal. I can handle it. These are cock on close, so I'm able to pull the trigger back as I'm closing it so that that bolt will not stay cocked. That's a little different than the cock on open that Mausers have. That's why they close a little smoother, but it made it a little harder to do, speed shooting. And that's what these Enfields are known for, is the Mad Minute. This is the oddball in the collection so far. It is the Ishapur 2A. This shoots a different cartridge than the others, and I think you might have seen it. This shoots the 308, the 7.62 by 51 NATO round. I have two different kinds here just because I'm running low on this one, and I want to be able to shoot this one more because it is quite fun. This guy served post-World War II, as did the Jungle Carbine. They just wanted to have something that would work for the colonies and everything, and keep their control over the our entire world. But that didn't work because the empire kind of fell apart. Anyway, back to this 2A. The number 2A features a different box magazine that holds 308 rounds. They did chamber it differently, so it's not like you're sticking in, you know, a 303 British, you know, or a 308 into a 303 Brit chambering. It actually takes that rim away, and we'll go over the cartridges real quick. We'll show the difference, and then we'll do some shooting. So we'll take a look at the cartridge that goes on or into these first three. That's that 303 British. It was originally a black powder round, but they changed it to cordite, and they changed it to all this crazy stuff that's basically TNT in a cartridge. These are Greek rounds. I put them in a Greek stripper clip. I'm never going to shoot these. They're just for show, basically. But I did bring the original, recreation of the original from Privy Partisan 303 Brit. You can see they are exactly the same round. They are rimmed cartridges, so there's a little rim on the back here that the extractor grabs and pulls out. Now they were black powder. The only gun I don't have here is a Lee Metford. That was the one that was chambered for the black powder and was rifled for black powder. It had a, I believe it was a softer, more rounded rifling instead of that sort of square cut rifling that goes for smokeless powder. And allowed it to engage the bullet a little more and give it that extra spin in the black powder that it needed. Now we'll take one of these 303 Brits, and we'll take a look at the 7.62 NATO round here. One of these sort of long range Sierra Match King bullet ones, but you can see it's a lot shorter, a lot easier to chamber for them. But I believe this is, you know, a lot more powerful than a 303 Brit. So they did toughen these guys up, and they can handle a lot more pressure. I'll never really shoot like a hunting round of 308 near. It is an older gun. I don't want to push it to its limits. But the old ones, this 303 Brit, still a powerful round, and you'll kind of see it when we shoot it. So we'll take a look here. Put that guy back where it belongs. And we'll load up some. We'll load up some of this number 4 Enfield here. Oh, I didn't put my ears on before I did this. Oh, you can see my process here real quick. Get my hearing protection put on, and then we'll take some shots. I'll hold the camera and kind of show off while Dominic puts his hearing protection on. Take a look here. We'll get some professional camera work going. We're getting about 13 minutes. I want to keep this guy under 20, so we'll get some shots done, and we'll get the outro going. Remember, we're not shooting that number 1 Enfield. I got to take a look at her first to make sure she's safe. Then I'll hand the camera back off, and we'll take some shots. Excuse me. Put this guy back in the pocket. Make sure these guys are nice and secure. Turn up my volume on there so I can hear everything that's going on. Nope, we're not shooting that one today. So I'm going to load these guys single because I only have a few of them. I'm going to put 2 303s in here. These old military rounds. There, nice and snug. And as you can see, she's good to go. We'll take her over here real quick, and we'll take some shots. All set? Okay. We are chambered and ready. Look around, make sure no animals are coming. Take my safety back off. Look to the correct site because I have it on the 500 and I don't really have that going. So we'll take some shots. We did scare a cat. He came running from behind the barn and came into the area. Black and white cat. we'll pause the video real quick and we'll make sure. All right, we're back. We got them clear of the area. Let's hope they don't decide to come back again. Take my safety back off, take that second shot. Let's do it. And there it goes. 2 shots with the 303 British. Now these do headspace themselves for their own gun. You can see that they kind of puffed out a little bit. Every single chambering was different, and so they headspace themselves for their own gun. So I have to be careful which ones I use for each gun. These separated. These have all gone through this number 4. This American-made number 4 Enfield. So we'll close that guy up. She's safe again. We'll put her on that safe. Dominic, I need you to come over here so you're not down the range while I'm playing with the guns here. We'll shoot the number 5 today. See this tag here, that's my father-in-law's tag. This is his gun, not mine. So we'll take her easy on this one. And we're loading up our 2 military rounds here. And we'll shoot a little bit more later with the hunting rounds. But see, she's in. Whoop, popped herself open. We'll close her up. There's that safety and everything. And we'll take her over here. Alright, nobody down range. Looks like we're good. We'll take our safety off. Take some shots. This one shoots and hits a lot harder than that number 4 because she's a lot lighter and your buttstock is a hard rubber. You have to go over that. She definitely gives you a lot more back into your shoulder, so you gotta shoulder her pretty tight. But that's it. That's shooting number 5, jumbo carbine. I lost that other brass. But you can see this one's got a lot tighter of a headspace to it than that other one did, because it's headspacing for its own rifle. These guns were known for that, and you just can't get away from it. So we'll close that guy up, keep her uncocked, set her down, and we'll grab this guy right here. We'll load her up a little bit more. This is a spicier round. These are long range Match Kings, so they're a little more tight of a round as well. Put these guys in here. We'll take it to the range. 3 308s. 7.62 NATO. Show off the inside as we load her up. These guys do not have that same rim lock issue that a 303 British would have, because they are a smooth rimmed cartridge. Load her up. A really smooth action on that number 1. That number 1 action, but this is a 2A. So bring her on over here, Dominic, so we'll close her a little bit if you want. Number 2A is a very nice gun. I don't know what shooting this. Enfields 2A. Yeah, that's a lot spicier than one of those 303 British. There we go. Number 2A. That's all we got for today, guys. Leave a comment on what gun you want to see more in depth. Leave a comment on what guns you want me to review or look over and kind of show off. We're going to probably do some American guns next, or maybe the Japanese rifles. I don't have any Japanese rifles, but my father-in-law, he sure does. We're going to show those off, and then we're going to keep this guy going. We're going to keep this going, guys. I want to make this work. So like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you later.